Hi, I'm McGill, and this is Things You Can Do in Space Station Silicon Valley. Episode 8, Stinky Sewers. Normally I play the level's background music during these videos, but Stinky Sewers doesn't actually have any music, so we're stuck with the eerie silence and the squeaky wheels. Anyway, the first thing we're going to do is get into the King Rat's lair early using a rat. To do this, we have to push a barrel against a wall real quick, then hop out of the racing dog to play as Evo. Using Evo, we can get through an opening in the wall, which was intended for rats only, but whatever, and face off against two rats. Using some tricky maneuvering, we can get the rats stuck on each other so that they die to their own mines. Next, we hop into the rat and head back to the barrel. This wall/barrel combo is a bit glitchy if we position ourselves on the right side of the barrel. In that spot, we can push up against the wall while biting and get pushed up in between a small crack in the wall, allowing us to get right into the King Rat's lair. A fun thing about this fight is that if we are playing as a rat, the King Rat can't damage us, and it won't order the rat minions to attack either, which makes this fight really easy. Another way to get the King Rat early is using the racing dog. To do this, we have to push a barrel into the water and then float alongside it until it reaches the hole in the wall. At that point, we run into it until it launches us up and into the hole. We call that trick updog, by the way. So if anyone ever asks, "What's up, dog?" instead of giving a long, complicated answer, you can just link them to this video. Now there's a pull that stops the dog from getting into the King Rat area, but we can bypass that just by going through it backwards. Thanks, CNA. Of course, killing the King Rat with the dog is super easy, so no problems there. An interesting thing about this level is that it has a weird condition for activating the teleporter. In this clip, we haven't completed any objectives yet. We can still open the door to the teleporter, completing one objective, but this doesn't activate the teleporter. Still having only one objective complete, we can even walk into the King Rat's lair as Evo, and nothing happens, because why would that do anything? However, if we walk into the lair as the King Rat, the teleporter activates and we can beat the level without beating the level. So the condition for activating the teleporter in this level has nothing to do with completing the objectives, but everything to do with getting the King Rat near the teleporter. This causes problems for our next trick, skipping everything by clipping through the King Rat door. Clipping through the King Rat door isn't easy, but we can do it if we get the racing dog in just the right spot and jump out to play as Evo, then move forward through the door. Finding the right spot takes a while, so be patient. Now, as we found out just a second ago, the teleporter won't activate if the King Rat isn't around, so getting in here does nothing. And actually, everything in here does nothing. We can hit both switches and the door won't open. It seems that the door opening is triggered by the cutscene, not the switches. The rats also do nothing. Normally rats will attack Evo on sight, but not these ones. We can't even get back out of the room. all we can do is die. As a fun aside, while I was trying to clip through the door, I ended up in this awkward situation where the dog's head was pushed through to the back of the dog's body and was vibrating like mad. So, that's a thing you can do, I guess. One final thing you can do is get out of bounds using the gloriously named toilet jump. To do this, we need to get the dog. This can be done quickly by collecting the keycard as Evo, allowing us to skip having to get the box. Now that we have the keycard, we can get to the dog, which we can then use to clip through the wall to get into the King Rat's lair, just like we demonstrated with the rat at the start of this video. This isn't the only way to get the dog into the King Rat's room, but I think it's the fastest. Anyway, once we are in the King Rat's room, we jump onto the toilet. Then once we're there, we position ourselves sort of on the toilet tank, like so, and then just move forward. There's probably some sort of sketchy programming around the toilet tank that lets our hitbox easily overlap with it, and that causes the game to freak out and launch us high up. And this, of course, lets us get out of bounds. What this means for Stinky Sewers is that we're in between the walls, and we can get a sort of outside-in perspective of the level. What we can't do is get back in bounds. We're just outside observers until we exit the level. To get to the more interesting parts of this out of bounds, we have to try to get around this corner on the edge of the map, which is a bit tricky, but not too hard. Once we get through, there's a bunch of interesting things to see. There are some empty spaces, such as the area on the left, and some spaces with low ceilings, such as the rat maze we're jumping over now. Further along is a large open space, as well as the ponds with the taps, where we got the dog in the first place. It takes a while to get around this area, and there's a lot of open space, as you can see. From there, we can move over to the area that has the fox in it, as well as the mini rat maze. As we get close to the start of the level, there's an interesting area where the camera is no longer locked behind our character. The free control camera is normal in most levels, but in levels like the engine room, wall race, and Stinky Sewers, the camera is normally locked behind us, and so the free control camera feels really weird here. I kinda got distracted here because this came as a big surprise to me, so don't mind me while I mess around with the camera for a little bit. After we pass the start of the level, the final area we can see is the back side of the King Rat's lair and the level exit teleporter. The big problem with going out of bounds here is that you can't get back in bounds, so it's useless. But it's still one of the things you can do in Space Station Silicon Valley. And thanks for watching. If you want to see some more SSSV stuff, feel free to hit that subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitch to catch me playing this game live. That's everything for now, so sleep tight and good night.